And we are back with our daily MLB Best Bets here on Sunday, September 7th. I know today is NFL Week 1, first one of the year, obviously, and if you want our NFL predictions, we do have those linked in the description down below. NFL predictions, NFL Best Bets, and NFL Best Player Props. So I know, again, the NFL season starts, or the first week of the NFL regular season starts in 5 hours. If you're watching this video when it first comes out, we got you covered in the description down below. But of course, right now, we've got our 5 MLB Best Bets. There's still MLB, no night game though. No Sunday Night Baseball. I actually don't know what's the reason for that. I guess because there's Sunday Night Football tonight, and of course we're all locked in for Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. If you want my best bet for that, again, check out the Best Bets video. We still got baseball, though, during the day, so let's make the best of it here. And, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. On Greedo Plays MMA later today at noon Pacific, we're going to have our UFC Noche predictions with Diego Lopez and John Silva in the main event from San Antonio, Texas. Make sure you go check out that video later today on Greedo Plays MMA, and go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA if you have not yet. Subscribe to this channel as well as we get on to the first of our 5 best bets today for the MLB. Kicking things off with the early matchup here before the NFL starts. We get an hour of Mariners and Braves. Obviously, the game's not going to end until like 11:30, but Mariners and Braves is the Roku TV game in Atlanta. I'm going with the Braves. Yeah, we're going to be fading the Mariners here, guys. This just feels like, to me, a really good spot for Atlanta to go out there and win. Braves are at home. Mariners just snapped their 4-game losing streak by winning yesterday 10-2 against the Seattle Mariners. Julio went yard twice. Cal Raleigh hit his 52nd home run of the season. You know what that means, guys? Yeah, regression. I'm surprised they didn't. They did that off of Hurston Waldrop, who's been really good this season, but that means it's going to fall apart today, all right? Seattle has been god-awful over the last couple weeks, and now they are barely hanging on to that postseason spot, as right now they are only a game up of the Kansas City Royals. My goodness, if the Royals get into the playoffs over the Mariners, oh man, I don't think the Mariners make it any easier on themselves today, though. I just don't think so. They're facing Spencer Strider, and I get it. 2025 has been a rough campaign, to say the least, for Strider. It all started against the Blue Jays earlier in the season, where he got injured or came back from injury. It's been a brutal year for Strider, to say the least, in terms of what, the standard has been for him. However, his last 2 starts have felt more like Spencer Strider outings. ERA now down to 4.97 on the season. Last start for Strider in Chicago, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. Start before that, his best of the season, you could say, in Miami at Lone Depot against the Marlins, 7 innings, 3 hits, and 1 run given up. Just the way the Mariners play and hit, this has the potential of being a big night for Strider, just in terms of the fact if you can set Seattle down early in this game, if you can get the first 9 outs and without giving up a run, the Mariners are going to continue to go down in order. That's just how they are. They're a team that's going to swing big, swing for the fences, and if Strider can just keep them in the park, I do believe Atlanta's going to win this baseball game. Of course, these two teams have met twice before, right? Yesterday and on Friday, and in Friday's matchup, Atlanta wins the game 4-1. Logan Gilbert went for Seattle, and Chris Sale went for the Braves. Obviously, right, Chris Sale is having a much better season than Spencer Strider is in 2025. I still believe Strider is going to be able to go out there and get the job done. Flip side, right, pitching for the Seattle Mariners, and another big reason why we're going with the Braves, Luis Castillo is going for Seattle. 3.94 ERA in the season for Castillo, and he has been horrible since the start of August. He just has. August ERA for Luis Castillo is, hold on here, 6.66. Oh no. Oh man. Last start, September 1st against the Tampa Bay Rays, 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs. ERA so far in the month of September, is 11.25. I get it's 4 innings, but still. ERA in the season now for Luis Castillo is up to 4. My point with all this is he's giving up runs. Look at his last 4 in particular. 4 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs against the Mets. 4 innings, 10 hits, 3 runs against the Phils. 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs against the Padres. And then, of course, 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs in Tampa against the Rays. You're taking on a Braves lineup that, if they can get going early in a game, they're dangerous. They just are, because there's so many good bats in the lineup. They just have come up short all year long, obviously being a team right now that is 14 games under 500, but you still have Jurickson Profar, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Drake Baldwin, Ronald Acuna Jr. There's bats up and down the lineup. I get it, Acuna has been slumping recently, slumping pretty badly, as he hit 228 in the month of August. He is now 0 for 14, I believe, in the month of September. He's going to have to break through eventually, right? He's going to have to break through eventually. You still get guys at the top of the lineup like Profar, who is off the roids, but still can be dangerous. Profar, Olsen, Drake Baldwin, who I think, in my opinion, should win the National League Rookie of the Year this season. I think the Braves are able to get this done, especially with, again, the pitching matchup. I think Castillo is going to get blown up in the start, and I believe Spencer Strider is actually going to be pretty good for the Braves today. So I'm going to go Atlanta Braves money line to beat the Seattle Mariners, minus 125 for Atlanta to get it done at home at Truist Park. We move on now to our second best bet of the video. Let's go to our best player prop of the day. We go to the other early start game today at 9 o'clock. Played in Tampa, Florida, as the Cleveland Guardians go on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm taking Drew Rasmussen over 4.5 strikeouts. That is priced at minus 130. Think this is a good play, and these are two teams in Tampa and Cleveland who, a month ago we would have said, oh, probably out of it. Well, the Rays definitely. Cleveland was still kind of in the midst of things back then. I guess they kind of are now. My point with all this being, guys, whoever wins this game is only going to be 2 games back of the postseason if the Mariners lose like we expect today, right? The Guardians and Rays, teams that are 71-70 and 71-71 respectively, are kind of in it still, which is insane. Like, the big one to me is that the Kansas City Royals have a legitimate, decent chance to make the playoffs, because I thought they were dead, I'm going to be honest, right? And they've been pretty mid all season long. If they've sneaked their way in the playoffs, oh my goodness. And who knows, right? The Tigers last year as a 6th seed went to Houston and beat the Astros. Maybe the Kansas City Royals can do the same thing. I don't know. Maybe I think the Mariners would, but I don't know. They got to get there. Anyways, going with Drew Rasmussen today. Over 4.5 strikeouts, again, priced at minus 130. This is an all-star pitcher this season for the Tampa Bay Rays. A guy who had a rough last outing against the Seattle Mariners. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, gave up 3 solo shots. It is what it is. Only had 2 strikeouts in that game. However, you look at every single start that Drew Rasmussen had in the month of August, he goes over 4.5. And I'm telling you, this is my thing with Seattle, and this is going to be huge for Spencer Strider today in Atlanta. If you can set down the Mariners early, if you can limit their power early and get some strikeouts going early, they're just going to continue to fall in order. If you struggle early, they're going to continue to mash on you, right? Anyways, Rasmussen, you look at everything he did in the month of August. He started in 5 games. He went over 4 strikeouts in 4 or 5. The only one where he didn't was against the Seattle Mariners. So in games in which Rasmussen has not pitched against the Seattle Mariners, that's his last 8 starts. You take out the 2 with Seattle. Sorry, last 9 starts. You take out the 2 at Seattle. 7 of his last 7, not including the Mariners, Rasmussen's gone over 4.5 strikeouts. 5 against the Guardians, 6 against the Yankees, 5 against the A's, 6 against the Dodgers, 5 against the Yankees, 5 against the Chicago White Sox. I mean, there's a reason, right? Drew Rasmussen was an all-star for the first time in 2025. I think I know what we're going to get out of Drew Rasmussen. We're going to get 5 innings. 5 or 6 innings. Going to get 5 or 6 innings. Rarely ever goes over 85-ish pitches. That's kind of just where he caps out on. And that's kind of just where, again, Rasmussen starts to just kind of fall off once he gets past that mark. That's okay. I really think Rasmussen only needs about 85 pitches. And that's because of how bad the bottom of the Cleveland Guardians lineup is. Now, yesterday, Guardians win in Tampa. Stephen Kwan drives in the game-winning run in the top of the 9th inning. Infield single. Cleveland wins. They're now looking for the sweep here in Tampa. So it's up to, of course, Rasmussen to try to prevent that. But you look at the Rays starter yesterday, Shane Baz. I get it. We know we get out of Shane Baz. He's going to give up a lot of runs sometimes, but he's big strikeout numbers because of that velo, because of the bite on that breaking stuff. I understand that. Shane Baz, though, yesterday against the Cleveland Guardians, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts. You're telling me that Rasmussen can't get 5? An all-around better pitcher, I get it, maybe not a better strikeout pitcher because he doesn't have the put-away stuff that Baz does, but an all-around better pitcher, Andrew Rasmussen, you're telling me he's not going to be able to get 5? I think he will. I think Rasmussen will be able to get 5. Because, again, Baz did that in 5 innings. And my point with all this being, look at the Cleveland lineup. Beyond, I say it all the time, beyond Stephen Kwan and behind Jose Ramirez, the lineup is really horrible. They're going to platoon guys. They're going to play matchups, sure. But just think, look at the guys in the lineup. Angel Martinez is all right. Manzardo, Nolan Jones, Daniel Schneemann, Gabriel Arias, Bo Naylor. I mean, Bo Naylor still bats every day, and he bats 178. Schneemann's a 220 hitter. Arias is a 220 hitter. Nolan Jones, a 220 hitter. Manzardo, 230 hitter. Angel Martinez, 220 hitter. I mean, legitimately, they're carried by 2 guys. And sure, some nights Schneemann's going to make a play. Sometimes Manzardo is going to make a play and drive in some runs. Can't rely on that for Cleveland. And that's why they're in this pack right now in the American League that is all chasing Seattle. if they had more depth around the lineup, and if their closing pitcher and one of their starting pitchers, weren't gamblers and weren't betting that they were going to throw balls against opposition, maybe they would be in the postseason right now. But anyways, I think Drew Rasmussen is able to go into, or is able to pitch at home here. I think he's able to get 5 strikeouts against a team that's honestly probably betting on themselves to strike out. You never know what happens with the Guardians. I don't know. I mean, you're telling me, I don't actually know anything about this, but like, you're telling me, Bo Naylor at the bottom of the lineup, who is a defensive first catcher, isn't sitting there betting on his over on strikeouts every day. Just saying, he's a 178 hitter. Again, I'm joking there, but I think Rasmussen's able to get 5 Ks today. It's priced at -130. He's done this in 7 out of his last 7 against teams not named the Seattle Mariners. For some reason, he just can't do it against the M's. I think he'll be okay today against the Guardians. Give me Rasmussen over 4.5 Ks at -130. Let's move on now to our third best bet of the video. We go to our Washington Nationals best bet of the day. I'm going Nationals +1.5. So I know Cubs -1.5 didn't entirely go our way yesterday. It's what I get for betting against my favorite team. It is what it is. Shout out to Dalen Lyle. Lyle is truly that guy. He should get Rookie of the Year votes. He single-handedly, kept us in the game on Friday. He wins the game on Saturday for the Nats with a go-ahead home run, albeit in the third inning. But anyways, I think the Nats are able to put up another fight today. 11:20 start time for the third consecutive day. Andrew Alvarez goes on the mound. Okay. I don't know what Andrew Alvarez is going to be in start number 2, because in start number 1, Andrew Alvarez was phenomenal, right? From AAA Rochester, obviously, got called up on Monday to make his first ever career start against the Miami Marlins on Labor Day. He goes 5 innings while allowing 1 hit and 0 runs. Only allowed 3 total base runners as he walked 2 guys. But my goodness, was Andrew Alvarez great. Now, it's a much more difficult lineup. I completely understand. You go from Miami, and that was a weird game too. I keep saying it, where Xavier Edwards got thrown out after the first at-bat of the game. It was just odd. I get it. And you go from the Marlins to now a Chicago Cubs team that's got Seiya Suzuki. Probably no PCA today. PCA left yesterday's game. We'll see. But Seiya, Ian Happ. I mean, there's guys, right? Carson Kelly. I'm naming guys who really beat up on left-handed pitching for the most part. Happ not as much as Suzuki and Kelly. But those are, even Dansby, honestly. I mean, those are going to be bad matchups, I think, for Andrew Alvarez. But I think he's going to be competitive enough in the start. Again, I am very optimistic about Andrew Alvarez. Was he ever a guy that was a highly touted prospect for us? No, he wasn't even in our org's top 30. Kind of came out of nowhere. Had a good year in AAA this year. Gets called up to obviously fill the void of Mackenzie Gore for the rest of 2025. And Alvarez is now basically, pitching himself into a tryout for the last month of the season. Probably not for the starting rotation, but probably for a spot in the bullpen next season. And honestly, we can get 4 more good starts, you can have a middle relief role next year with the Washington Nationals. I wouldn't mind. Now, obviously, the other part of this equation for the Nats is trying to score. Now, yesterday, only 2 runs for the Nationals after scoring 5 on Friday's game. The 2 runs yesterday were a Dalen Lyle home run and then Jorge Alfaro with an RBI single. Now, we've gotten a very limited sample size of Jorge Alfaro in the nation's capital so far. Obviously, right, we sent down CJ Stubbs after debuting on Monday with Andrew Alvarez, and we signed Jorge Alfaro. Hasn't been in the major leagues since 2023. Jorge Alfaro, I guess, I think he's been playing in Mexico, I think. Could be wrong. I vaguely, remember seeing him in a Trevor Bauer video, and Bauer was playing in the Diablos down there. Anyways, Alvarez has done pretty well. Now, he's only had 8 at-bats, but in 8 at-bats, he has 3 hits, and the Nationals said, you know what, okay, you're going to bat third now. It reminds me of when we had Harold Ramirez for like 30 games last season, and whenever we face a left-handed pitcher, all right, Harold Ramirez, give him the 3 spot. Now, I know Alfaro is not entirely like that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he was only in the 3 yesterday because of Boyd. Well, Drew Pomeranz is pitching today, so that means Jorge Alfaro is probably in the 3 spot. Okay, I don't care. He's batting .375 as a National. Now, if Jorge Alfaro continues to play well, they're going to re-sign him, aren't they? And he's going to be the backup catcher next year, isn't he? Oh, no. Oh, no. I just thought about that. This is great. Alfaro's playing well. I hope he's just playing his way onto another roster in 2025, because I can't have my 2 catchers being Jorge Alfaro and Keibert Ruiz next year. Oh. Well, I wouldn't be against Alfaro as a backup. I just can't have Keibert Ruiz as a starter. Like, those are 2 bench guys. Oh, no, I know what it is. The problem's Keibert Ruiz. Anyways, not to harp on the guy, he's injured, but he's out for the year. The Nats should be able to keep up today. Against Pomeranz? I think so. I mean, again, the lefty-lefty matchup doesn't affect Dalen Lyle. Doesn't really affect CJ. Didn't seem to affect James Wood also yesterday. I know Wood still struck out two times, but that first inning was crazy, guys. Abrams, Wood, and Alfaro see 3 pitches, and they all get hits. Like Abrams swung at the first pitch. Wood swings at the first pitch. Alfaro swings at the first pitch. And all of a sudden, the Nats are up 1-0. Now, Dylan Cruz had bases loaded in the top of the first inning, and he proceeded to strike out. And then it was Nassim who couldn't get anything done either. Nats win the game 2-1. Shout out to Cole Henry's second career save. Jose A. locking it down in the 8th inning. I think they'll be able to score, right? Pomeranz not going to go as deep, obviously, as Matt Boyd, but not as good as a pitcher as Boyd. We get, Andrew Alvarez today. Yesterday we had Brad Lord. Lord pitched a really good game. Let's hope Alvarez can do the same exact thing. Again, yeah, we need to hope a little bit for Alvarez because a lot of what Andrew Alvarez is still is a question mark. Let's just call it how it is. But I think he's going to be fairly good tonight. I think so, or today. Right, I'm going to go Washington Nationals plus 1.5 at Wrigley Field. That is set at minus 135. I just think they're able to keep the game close. Give me Andrew Alvarez, Dalen Lyle, and the Washington Nationals to cover, and Jorge Alfaro to cover 1.5 runs on the road at Wrigley Field. Maybe even take a series in Chicago. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. On now to our 4th best bet of the video. Let's go to our daily nerfy. Yesterday we hit with the nerfy. Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Trevor Rogers get 6 outs. Now, Yoshinobu Yamamoto got 26 outs, not 27. 26 outs before giving up a single hit. What happened? The Dodgers end up losing the baseball game. Jackson Holliday with a solo home run. Orioles score 4 runs with just 1 out remaining. Couldn't have happened to a better team, man. It's hilarious. It sucks the Padres suck so much because legitimately the Dodgers are not playing well enough to win a division right now. They are going to have to play the wild card round, which is going to be interesting. Again, this is not really a Dodgers discussion right now. Just saying, though. Dodgers Mets first round? Ooh. Or Dodgers Padres? We know the Dodgers are going to win that series, but at least it's going to be good TV. Mets could go into Los Angeles and win, though. So I don't know. Anyways, not the Giants, because Ryan Walker yesterday decided to end the Giants season. Thanks, man. Thanks. That was awesome. Justin Verlander pitches a shutout. 2-0 in the 9th inning. And Ryan Walker proceeds to put 5 runners on base. Yep. And lets Jordan Walker walk him off. Can't do it. Randy Rodriguez. I hate that Rodriguez is out for the next year and a half. Because Rodriguez in that game, that game's over. So Giants playoff hopes are kind of over. I don't know. They're still playing really well, but still, Ryan Walker wants to go home early this year. It's okay. Instead, we are going to be going with today's nerfy of the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros, right? Battle of Texas here at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Pitchers tonight are going to be Luis Garcia and Patrick Corbin. Originally supposed to be Framber Valdez and Patrick Corbin, so I actually believe this line's going to go down a little bit because when I made the graphic, it was supposed to be Framber Valdez and Patrick Corbin, but honestly, I actually don't mind this. I was going to go with the narrative here. Oh, Valdez has been really bad, but it's just 3 outs and it's just the Rangers. Well, now I get to say, oh, it's Luis Garcia, who hasn't, pitched much in 2025. Obviously, he's made 1 start on September 1st against the Angels, but it's still a bad Rangers lineup. Guys, the Rangers' insanity run is over, right? We saw that when they swept won 2 of 3 against the Angels. Swept the A's, won the first game against Arizona. There were some rumblings, right? We were thinking, oh, okay, maybe there's some playoffs. There's some playoff potential this year, with the Texas Rangers. No, there's no playoffs with the Texas Rangers this year. I know they're only 2 games out still, but I just wouldn't expect that. Anyways, Luis Garcia, you need to get 3 outs today. You get 3 outs against this Rangers lineup yesterday, who were put down for 27 outs yesterday without scoring a single run. Top of the lineup for Texas, and my goodness, I don't know how they went on their crazy run where they, won like 6 of 7, because this lineup is still just so mid, man. Josh Smith leads it off, Wyatt Langford in the 2, Jock Peterson in the 3, Jake Berger, which, okay, in the 6 you have Dustin Harris, Josh Young, Ozuna, Jonah Heim. Obviously, he's not going to see all those hitters because if you see all of them, we have a problem. But Josh Smith, Wyatt Langford, Jock Peterson. Okay. Jock still bats 180. He bats third. The bigger concern is going to be Patrick Corbin. I think Garcia is going to get 3 outs against the Rangers. That's not because I'm, over the moon about Luis Garcia, who's made 1 start this season. He's got a 4.5 ERA. Obviously, that's just 3 runs in 6 innings, and the only start that he's had, so can't put much there. The bigger concern by far is because of Patrick Corbin. And again, it's not because I'm, over the moon with Garcia. It's just lineups that they have to face, right? Not scared of the Rangers lineup, who got shut out yesterday, who scored 4 runs on Friday's game, and then their last game against the D-backs scored 0, right? Which I don't get the D-backs run. I can't wrap my mind around it. I wonder what we're betting next. Just hold on. Stay with me now. First though, Patrick Corbin. Okay. See, Corbin, I'm happy for the guy. He's played his way into another contract in Major League Baseball, even though his August was really bad. However, 2 starts ago for Corbin. 8 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs against the Los Angeles Angels. Last start, though, pretty bad against the D-backs. His team still wins, but Corbin goes 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, and 5 runs. All right, Corbs, we just need 3 outs from you. Yordan Alvarez right now might be the toughest out in baseball. Legitimately. Yordan might be the single-handed toughest out to get. If you're gonna approach him anyway, though, well, you have to. I'd rather be a lefty. I'd rather be Corbin, who obviously is a lefty that, Corbin's funky. It's not that funky of a motion, but his, the elbow up. When Corbin's pitching, what I'm trying to get to here. When Corbin pitches, obviously, from a left-handed perspective, it's tough because it seems like Corbin's coming at you, right? I know that's, rudimentary. Oh, it's every lefty-lefty. Well, no, Corbin's a little bit different. And Corbin's slider going away, it's a tough matchup usually. It is. It's a tough spot for lefties to pick up on. So if I'm going to approach a Yordan Alvarez matchup, I'm not telling you the ideal guy I want is Patrick Corbin, because obviously there's probably named 20, 40 lefties in the league I'd rather have over Patrick Corbin here. But I'd rather have a lefty than I'd rather have a mediocre lefty like Corbin than a mediocre righty. Okay, so I'll take that. Jeremy Pena is a really tough out. He is batting .305 this season. Altuve, been hitting all right. Correa is still a tough out in the 4 spot too. In the 5, probably Christian Walker, who's an easy out, and then Jesus Sanchez in the 6 lefty if we get there. Hopefully we don't get there, because if we do, again, we have some problems. I think as a whole, though, I think we're in a decent spot with Patrick Corbin here. I think so. This nerfy all starts with Jeremy Pena, because I think the Yordan Alvarez matchup's going to be really difficult, obviously. But worst case, right, as long as Corbin can just keep Alvarez in the park, obviously batting up the 2 spot, we should be fine, right? Because I don't think Altuve is going to knock him in, and then I'll take my chances with the Carlos Correa matchup. Or hopefully he walks Correa and we get to Christian Walker, right? The one that will concern me is if Jeremy Pena gets on base. Because if Pena gets on base, then okay, Yordan with any swing of the bat can knock him in. As long as Patrick Corbin gets Jeremy Pena, we're going to be fine because it all starts there, obviously. I believe the nerfy today from Arlington at Globe Life Field is going to hit. Rangers and Astros, Luis Garcia and Patrick Corbin will go out there and get us 3 outs in the Battle of Texas. On to our final. Best bet of the video. Let's go to... Okay. All right. So, D-backs and Red Sox. Now, this doesn't give away where I'm going here, right? It doesn't at all. Because, maybe I'm going to go D-backs now. Maybe we're going to jump on the D-backs train. They've won like 4 games in a row. Not a horrible spot. Red Sox have lost 3 in a row. Last time we hopped on the D-backs train, they lost. But that's okay. Tonight, I'm going to be going with the Boston Red Sox again. Okay. Final game of the day. It's at 1:10. When I was looking at the schedule earlier, I was like, damn, this is Sunday Night Baseball? It's not. There's just no Sunday Night Baseball this week, which I guess it's got to be the NFL. That's why, but okay. I'm doing it again. Okay, yeah. I'm taking the Boston Red Sox to win. Guys, the D-backs eventually have to lose, and the Red Sox have to eventually win. Okay, I know this is a dumb way of picking things. Now, there's more than this, but stay with me now. The Arizona Diamondbacks in 2025 cannot go to 2 games over 500 and go on a 5-game winning streak in September after trading Josh Naylor, trading Eugenio Suarez, losing Lourdes Gurriel to injury, and now you're going on a run? And they actually have a very important San Francisco series coming up. Say they actually beat Boston today. Well, now you go to San Francisco, you can somehow sweep them. You are kind of the team now that's going to be hovering around the Padres and the Mets for that final wild card spot. Again, I don't think San Diego nor New York are going to fall out. I think they have too many games at this point on these squads. I'm just saying, though, there's a possibility that can happen. I don't think the Red Sox, they'll lose 4 in a row. They lost the last game in Cleveland, back-to-back already in Arizona. They've looked like shit in Arizona. I'll just say it. They've looked horrible here so far. 5 runs on Friday's game. 1 run yesterday. They lose 5-1. Should have been 6-1 if Ceddanne Rafaela didn't have one of the best home run robberies I've ever seen. Launches himself by the pool area at Chase Field. Takes it back. A home run by Corbin Carroll. It's been a pitiful effort out of Boston so far. And, you know, when I don't watch Red Sox games, I always see, Nathaniel Lowe is batting .305 as a Red Sox. Nathaniel Lowe hasn't done dilly shit so far in this series. Actually, I think he had a triple in Friday's game, but it was already well over by then, okay? Nathaniel Lowe sucks. That's what I'm trying to get to. I just need to get that out of my system. Brayan Bello, Ryan Nelson pitching today. Okay, actually 2 of the better pitchers in both the rotations. Obviously, Bello's obviously not number 1 because there's a guy named Garrett Crochet in Boston, and Ryan Nelson has been actually pretty good for Arizona this year. Nelson's ERA in the month of August was 4.6, but for an Arizona pitcher, that's decent. 3.57 ERA so far this year. Brayan Bello, 3.07 ERA in the month of August. He was pretty solid, 2.27 ERA. Last start against the Guardians on September 1st, 5 innings, 6 hits, and 3 runs. The Red Sox just win with Brayan Bello, though. They've won 5 of 6 with Bello on the mound. I would expect they win this game, too. Again, if there's a guy that can get them out of this little slump, it's probably Bello. If not, it's tomorrow in Sacramento with Garrett Crochet pitching. But I do think the Red Sox win this game. I think so. Okay, I'll say this, like I said, I'll say this again, like I said yesterday. This Diamondbacks nonsense has to end. Okay, they're not this good. Blaze Alexander's getting hits. Or Tyler Locklear is getting base knocks, okay? That nonsense needs to stop, okay? And it's going to stop today. It's going to stop today. Brayan Bello is going to put belt to ass in the desert today. Ryan Nelson, 4.6 ERA in the month of August. Okay. I need Boston to actually get going. Maybe it's Roman Anthony. They don't have Roman Anthony anymore. They don't know what to do. They don't have Roman Anthony, their star rookie, and now this team can't hit no more. No. It has to happen today. I'm looking at you, Alex Bregman. I'm looking at you, Jarren Duran. I'm looking at Trevor Story. All right, the vets need to come through today, okay? I'm taking the Arizona Diamondbacks to finally lose. And guys, we are so due for a D-backs bullpen blow-up. We haven't seen it yet in this series. It needs to happen tonight. I'm losing my damn mind. The D-backs keep on winning. They burned us in the Texas series. They're burning us here. I'm taking the Boston Red Sox to salvage the 3-game set at Chase Field in Arizona. Give me Boston Red Sox money line even at -110 on the road in Arizona. So folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here on September 7th. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you did disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.